I wanted to create this video to hopefully clear up some misconceptions and questions that guys have when it comes to polishing their national cash register. There's not too much information or how-to out there, so hopefully I can contribute something to help clarify some of the problems guys are having. My model is the 452E, and right now you're looking at the back of it. The glass has been removed for polishing, and what I wanted to show is this particular cash register came with a brass plating already over the existing brass, and you can see right here there's a little bit, this hasn't been done yet, and this portion has, and you can see quite a difference. And this whole area has not been done, and I would like to show that to you. The area that has been done, right here on the bottom, you can see where it hasn't been done, and here it has. This can even be improved upon by a technique that I want to show. A lot of guys go ahead and use polishing compounds, and they don't get the desired effect that they're looking for. So hopefully I can show you what my procedure is, and it does involve 4/0 steel wool, which some people say you should not do because it'll scratch the brass. I'm going to show you how you can use it to help remove this plating and help polish it to a mirror finish. The one situation that guys use all the time is they go ahead and polish, but this particular finish does not really come off. Then they use lacquer thinner, but this is not a lacquer finish. This is actually a plating. Lacquer thinner will not take it off. Paint thinner will not take it off. Even if you start using compounds on a polishing wheel, it'll eventually take it off, but it's a very tedious process. So I'm going to show you here the process that I use. Now hopefully you'll be able to see. It's very tough with the lighting. Hopefully we'll be able to see the actual process clearly. This here is the area that has not been done yet, and what I like to do is just spray a little bit of could be just water or a little cleaning solution on there, just a little bit of liquid, and this is just 4/0 steel wool. And a lot of times I just start to rub against the finish, and it does take a little bit of elbow grease, but the finish is starting to come off now, if you can see it. This hasn't been touched, and this has. I'll try to do a close-up a little later, but the 4/0 will take that coating, that plating off, and it may seem difficult, but it's, believe me, it's one of the easiest home remedies that I have found so far. And again, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but this finish is, the plating is almost completely off. So I'm going to just do half where you can see the difference. Now, I mean, it's again, I don't know if the video is showing it very well. I'll try to get it better, but it's like night and day, the two different finishes. Now I'll show you the polishing technique. Here's another angle here. I turned off one of the overhead lights in my shop. The fluorescent lights kind of drown it out, but you should be able to see the difference here. This is the part that I just used the steel wool, and yes, there are plenty of scratches that you would think, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of them. Over here you can see it's much darker, and it hasn't been touched. So again, I'm just going to show you the one side being polished to show you the comparison. Now what I use to do the polishing of anything I'm working on is half horsepower motor. it'll do the job, but when you're doing big items like the registers, if you had 3/4 or even 1 horsepower, it'll do a much better and quicker job. The 1/2 horsepower does get it done, but it binds the motor down just a little bit if you press too hard. Now the only wheels that I really use is the 6 or an 8-inch tight bind wheel. This is for cutting through any scratches or anything, and you can see the tightness of the threads there, the sewing threads. It's fairly stiff to cut through, and I use brown Tripoli with that, and then I finish off with a loose cotton wheel, and I use white compound for this. You could use the red rouge. A lot of guys use that. I use it too, but it is very, very messy. It gets over everything. It really makes a mess. So the white seems to do a very good job on the brass, and that's just what I prefer to use. Alright, so it's all set up. I have the Tripoli wheel on. I just used brown Tripoli. Hopefully I can show you the angle properly to show you. It's really the end result is what I want you to see. Now remember what I showed you here with the 4/0 steel wool. There was a lot of fine scratches on that brass, but I'm going to show you again that this process will take it completely off. Just use a little bit. Now this is the side that was not done. This is the side that we used the steel wool. And I like to cut across . It's kind of tough here with the camera, with the tripod in the way. More. Okay. Again, might be hard to see, but those scratches are completely gone at this moment. And it's just a matter of now to use the other wheel with the white rouge, and that puts even more of a polish on there. You could stop at this point, and I tried that once, but then when I used the white rouge, it brought the shine out even more. Okay, we're all set for the final polish. Again, hopefully you can see the difference so far right there between the two sides here, and this will be the final polish with the white rouge. This here. Well, there's what you got to see. See how you got to be careful. It can grab it and pull it right out of your hand. And that's all it's needed. I'll show you a close-up of it. There is some polish residue, compound residue, and you can just wipe that off. So I'll show you a close-up of the finished product. Now here's the finished product. Again, the lighting is not good, but if you should still be able to see. There's a better angle here. There's unfinished, and there's the finish. It's like a mirror. You'll see a little mark right here. That is a little nick that just occurred when the polishing wheel, as you saw, grabbed the item and the spindle hit the brass. So you do have to be careful with it. And but you can see, really, it's like a mirror finish. There's no scratches. I mean, there might be some little very, very tiny fine ones, but all in all, it's one of the best ways I've seen to get it like a mirror finish. Again, it's this plating that's tough to get off. I almost gave up because I tried various methods and it just was extremely time consuming. But this method here really seemed to do the job and cut it down. Of course, I've got the rest of it to do, but this is just a good way to get you started.